Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? I know we have a Google Doc behind us. Hey Cake, Hamakushi, hey Daniel, hey Lotus. I know you can't stay for too long, but thank you for dropping by, saying hi, and all that good stuff. So, today, it's gonna be a very casual stream. Usually they're very casual. I'm doing very good, very good. A lot of positive energy from me. But yeah, today's gonna be a different kind of stream. You know, I have a Google Doc behind us, and you're probably wondering, huh? Google Doc? That's not what most streamers have. I thought we'll go through the writing process of like creating a campaign setting, you know? So very casual. Hey Venice, thank you. Casual is good today. So I'm just gonna be talking to you guys through the process. So let me know if you can see. If not, I can zoom in because I think give me a second. There we go. I can zoom in. Let me just move this up a bit. There we go. So we're gonna be talking through the process of like how I craft campaigns and stuff. So currently I'm working on something for a Super Sentai inspired, Kamen Rider, Ultraman inspired campaign because it's cool, you know? It's a cool thing to do, fun thing to do. And there's a book that I'm using currently called Conviction Drivers, yeah? And that's basically a very easy way to create a campaign for those type of scenarios, you know? It's literally built for that. It was tagged as a Super Sentai inspired Tokusatsu Super Sentai inspired campaign system. So we're gonna be using that for our, you know, guide. I should really change the name to like Tabletop RPG / D&D Planning, but you know, either or. So first thing we gotta do is write down what the system is really about, so that way people can understand. For example, this is a Google Doc that I would share to people once I finish writing it. That way they can basically have something to look back to, refer to, and understand the world, you know? It's basically like a cheat sheet, so then that way when they're making character stuff, they understand how that works. When they look at the setting, they understand how that works, compared to me just giving a paragraph and be like, here's the setting. This is something they can refer back to for literally everything. So we've got to make this as detailed as possible. So this system requires 5 to 6 D10s. On the DM side, it requires 10 D10s, but we don't need to worry about that too much. A D10 refers to dice, so yeah, basically a guidebook. Yeah, it's literally a guidebook that I make using the setting guide / the tabletop RPG book, and yeah, just the information that I'm going to be making up. So requires 5 to 6 D10s. D10s refer to dice numbers, so basically 1D something is usually like 1 lots of the dice name. So 5 D6s or 5 D10s means 5 dice that are dice that can go up to 10, you know? D12s go up to 12. D20, which is why you always hear natural 20 or nat 20, which usually means, hey, I have gotten my natural, I've rolled the big number naturally, you know? And then unnat 20 is when you have modifiers which you can use to add on to it. So the other thing is I use Tabletop Simulator for a lot of my campaigns, because Tabletop Simulator is a very nice visual way to get things in there. So if I want to get drawings in there, they are there. It allows the players to mess around with the room, you know? Although the downside with that is you have to turn off sound, because honestly, with sound on, it can be extremely distracting. So those are the 2 main things that my players would need in terms of system. So now we're going to the interesting part. Yep, tabletop is very good. So the interesting part is going to be the setting / world. Now, there are 2 ways I could do this. I could look into other, you know, shows that's done it, or we can just break it down to the simplest forms. So usually with Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, everything, I use Roll20. Respect Roll20, I do. Same with Fantasy Grounds, although Fantasy Grounds can be annoying to code for. That's the downside with Fantasy Grounds, I would say, especially when you want to do like custom stuff, because it doesn't have everything, which is fair. It's not meant to have everything. So yeah, world and setting. So usually when you think of a, you know, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman like show, when you think of Power Rangers, you think of the modern day. So I'm gonna put down modern day. The only one that wasn't in the modern day, I believe, is Time Force and SPD in terms of Power Rangers. And Kamen Rider is usually in the modern day unless it's a movie. Ultraman does its own thing. Yeah, no problem, no problem. I'll explain as much as possible. So yeah, in this case, we'll use modern day. If we wanted to do more fantasy, like early on, then we would need to treat it more like Garo. Garo is a series which is basically like fantasy-based Kamen Rider. There's a golden suit which people can summon using a sword. So we have all that. So break it down. So modern day campaign. What do you think when you think modern day like storytelling? And how do you think it'll affect the world? If we're trying to do a situation where people can't go to global places, we need to make sure it's isolated in one location. So usually with that, you can say it's on an island. But we can't just make it any island. We have to most likely design it as a man-made island. Cool, so it's on a man-made island. Now, why is it on a man-made island? We gotta create all the reasoning for the story. Yeah, man-made island. Why is it on a man-made island? Experiments that go on there can only be done in that area. We can go with something like that, you know? Yeah. Hey James, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. So man-made island. Then we can say, okay, this is very experimental and it's being funded by all the countries in the world. So that way, no country has a monopoly over it. We can say that. So, it's pretty much a Paragon built quest. Yeah, it's like built Paragon like. So built just for literally the good of the world. So no country really has a monopoly over it. Compared to, like, for example, think of the Avengers, yeah. And player backgrounds can be, yeah, that can be a key thing as well. Players can be from anywhere. Someone can play someone with an accent from any location. It removes the need of saying, okay, this is in this location. You can just be like, this is in the Atlantic Ocean. This is located here, where everywhere. So, you know, you build your law. So it's Paragon funded. Now, why was it funded? Okay, we have to think of an enemy now, yeah? So what's our enemy? What's the thing we're trying to fight against? Now, we could do easy stuff. Monsters. So, here are our three choices. Monsters, machines, or humans, you know? Someone could do that. Except for, you know, we have to keep it realistic. Because we're building a campaign that's meant to be more, you know, have a level of realism, yeah? So that's why we have the modern day stuff, you know? They could be French though, and they could have the French flag on their outfit. Something like that. But yeah, so what are they fighting for? Why did they build this? So we could go with monsters, but then we need to explain the monsters. Are they from this world? Are they underground? Have they been in hibernation? So that's the option with that. Machines, we can say with machines, usually it comes with a post-apocalyptic setting. We can go with post-apocalyptic setting. Or we can say machines gain there's some machines which have gained sentience and are attacking humans, you know. Yeah. We can say something like that. If we do that, then we can do something like some machines have taken over, gained sentience, and humanity has tried to struggle and contain them, something like that. It is kind of a training facility. It's meant to be an academy. I need to mention it earlier. Island mermaid. Basically, the goal is to create new heroes. Heroes that will take care of a threat. And we want to isolate the threat in one location first. Or use the fact that it's a Paragon funded, it is a globally funded thing. So we can basically send people to any part of the world. So location may not matter in that case. the fact that it's on the island in of itself probably means that it's a safe haven, that island, or it's just a training facility. We have to figure out what do we want that place to be, you know? Like, we can make it a training facility, we can make an academy, we can make it even, we can just make it like a literal island slash city filled for students. See, it's complicated. It's complicated. We don't want to do countries with wars, yeah. Just because, like, I know it can get too confusing. Whereas if you do something where it's humanity is uniting against a single threat, when people are watching this campaign, it feels more hopeful in a sense, you know? Because it's pretty unrealistic that the world unites for a single threat in most cases, you know? The world can be very divided. Whereas if you create an external threat like monsters, machines, that's the easy one. Humans are usually like the last gamble, because like that becomes a whole thing of like, okay, you want to create like a terrorist group or something like that, like an evil group that wants to do stuff. That's why I usually take away humans in settings like these in modern day. If it's a fantasy, then humans can be the villains, you know, because villainous humans can do a lot. So we could do monsters. Monsters can also fall under aliens as well. We can also separate aliens in another thing. So like, we're fighting aliens who just want to conquer Earth. But the problem with aliens who want to conquer Earth, if a species is smart enough to create intergalactic travel, it becomes really difficult to justify why they're sending ground troops in a small number. Because you have to keep in mind, the party is going to be the one fighting in most cases. So we have to justify the party's existence in what they're doing, you know? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Hi, Advance. What franchise falls into D&D character and what's your favorite? It's difficult, it's difficult. I don't have a full answer for that. Just because like D&D can be very varied, you know? Like you can make Naruto D&D, you can make Kamen Rider D&D, you can just make anything. That's the beauty of D&D. So that's why I don't really say X is my favorite or Y is my favorite. Because if you have a really good DM, they can just make anything. Also, I'm smiling way too much. There we go. I was smiling way too hard. Okay, so we can't do aliens, because if it's aliens, we have to make it like a Mass Effect level storyline. And at that point, we need friendly aliens too. It becomes complicated. And then you kind of get into the SPD issue, I think. Something like that. Exactly. What you do with D&D and tabletop RPGs is all fully up to you. Okay, so we have machines and we have monsters. So I'm gonna create a poll and see which you guys prefer, machines or monsters. Don't worry. This is a good way to figure out how to not be cliche. Cool. So I've added the poll. There we go. So it's gonna be between machines or monsters. What do you think? Yeah, because they both fall into sci-fi, you know? I don't know how long I'll leave the poll, but like, I'll see which is winning. We're not gonna do both. It becomes way too complicated when you do both. Like for example, Alien gets away with it because it doesn't treat it doesn't treat androids as a pure antagonist in the sense, you know? It makes things much more complicated. And like, the androids are just kind of there, you know? Like, they're there, they're not a big deal, really. Whereas when you're making a, you know, Super Sentai inspired campaign, you want one thing to be the big deal, you know? Kamen Rider, we had androids be a big deal, we have monsters be a big deal. It always switches between the two. So it can be stuff like that. And then when you're designing stuff, it makes it much more interesting. So then you just have to create the law for the monsters. And it looks like monsters is winning. So we'll start writing up stuff for monsters. Okay. So when we think monsters, we can think of something like, okay, in the past, legends talk about knights fighting dragons, stuff like that. Turns out, okay, they weren't fighting dragons, you know? They were fighting, like, you basically, you can use mythology to be like, anytime legends or like events in the world have talked about monsters, then in that case, they weren't really talking about monsters. They were talking about these, you know, they weren't talking about fictional monsters. These actually existed. Humanity did beat them for a while. Now they've reawoken. We can do something like that, you know? So if we go monsters, yeah. We go monsters. Let me think about it. We can either make them man-made, or we can have a monster that's in charge of them all. So we can go either man-made monsters, or there's a monster in charge of all the monsters, creates more monsters, you know? It's a cycle kind of thing. Like, humanity has been warned of this great threat, so now they're preparing for it, and all of the world's resources have joined together in fighting these monsters, kind of storyline, you know? Exactly. Like, basically you gotta make things mythological. And then you can have some monsters that are good, maybe. Some that are bad, you know? You know, something that makes the story feel unique. Something that makes you go, okay. Because these tropes in themselves aren't unique. It's what you do with them. So, if we go with, okay, monsters are in charge. So we create this law that, yeah, so we create this law that is like really not simple, but like not complicated. So let me get rid of machines and let me just pitch out the law before I type it. In history, yeah, no jacket today. In history, there have been strange events that have occurred, phenomenons that have been unexplained until recent day. That we can start off with that, you know. Hey Novak. So let me write it down. In here. Cool. In history, there have been unexplained events and phenomenons which have occurred. These often being described as acts of God, so these often being these, okay, hear me out, okay. Phenomena. Okay, the word is phenomenon. Okay, let me re-go through it. In history, there have been unexplained events and phenomenon which have occurred. These are often described as acts of gods or demons. Acts of God or demons, simply believed to be myth. Simply believed to be myth. However, the truth is these were not myth. Monsters once walked among humans. Something like that, you know? Am I flowing? Am I spitting? Does this feel like it makes sense? These were the before times. In the before times. Okay. In history, there have been unexplained events and phenomena which have occurred. These are often described as acts of gods or demons, simply believed to be myth. However, However, there is some truth. However, there is some truth. However, there are some truth. There are some truth. Yeah. However, there are some truth to those myths. No, there is some truth to those myths. Once, decades ago, centuries sounds bigger. We'll go with centuries. In the before times, centuries ago, monsters walked among humans, enslaving them or treating them as prey. Okay, you guys feel out what I'm putting down. So we're building it down the myth. So centuries ago, monsters walked the world. Oh, I need to find a better way to phrase it. But usually that's how I start things off, you know? Don't worry. The spelling will get fixed eventually. Centuries ago, monsters walked among the world. Hey Akka, how you doing? We're just talking, chatting, figuring out how to create this setting. So, centuries ago, monsters walked among the world. Now, where do we go from there? Among the world. Treating humans as their prey. Treating humans as their prey, something like that, you know. So we've got the history. Now we need to create the hope from the history. However, humans were able to fight back. There we go. Centuries ago, monsters walked among the world, treating humans as their prey. However, humans were able to fight back, pushing those monsters to near extinction. Something like that, you know? Yeah, pushing those humans into fight back, pushing those monsters into near extinction. Over time, these monsters were forgotten. Sorry, I'm cooking. Okay. Oof. Okay, I'm about to read out what I've cooked. I hate spelling. I hate spelling so much. It's annoying. Okay. Hey Bilal, how was the Oshi Link Pico Park? I think you guys were playing. I hope you had a great time. Okay. I was clicking away. Yeah, I was clicking and clicking away, so it's all good. So, okay, let me read out what I've gotten to. So, over time, these monsters were forgotten, treated only to be treated as myth. However, they slowly have begun to return in recent years. I'm glad it was good. That's the key thing. As long as you have a good, fun time, then it's great. You know, but yeah, I'm good. We're just cooking, we're just writing. I'm just creating a setting. My process, my thought process, you know? This reminds me of the time where I had to write a 20-page essay for my AP English. Man, writing is such a... like, I enjoy writing when I'm writing things I like to write, you know? When I'm forced to write, it ain't the same. There we go, water has been drunk. No, you're not getting my true form anytime soon. But yeah. However, they have slowly begun to return in recent years. Causing havoc. Causing havoc and... There we go. Okay. Over time, these monsters were forgotten, only to be treated as myth. However, they've slowly begun to return in recent years, causing havoc and destruction wherever place they appear in. The world's governments and armies have not been successful. I don't need truly. Have not been successful in defeating these monsters. However, oh man, can we get it? This is basically a story time stream. Me typing and writing and telling a story. Also, time zones make it difficult for a bedtime stream. I'm gonna be real. The world's governments and armies have not been successful in defeating these monsters. However, one man. There we go. Now we get the trailer lines. One man. You know? How about one man? There we go. However, one man proposed an idea to the world's government, requesting all of them to unite. All of them. Okay. Let me get the trailer lines. Okay. The world's armies and the world's governments and armies have not been successful in defeating these monsters. How should I say the world's armies have not been successful, or the world's governments and armies? Something like that. The world's governments and armies have not been successful in defeating these monsters. However, one man proposed an idea. with the world's government, requesting all of them to unite their resources in creating a new weapon. A weapon of hope. There we go. See, we're getting there. We're getting the hopefulness. Because we're doing a Super Sentai / Power Rangers campaign, we're gonna have to figure out what we're creating. A weapon of hope. There we go. There we go. Now we went full trailer. The world's governments and armies have not been successful in defeating these monsters. However, one man proposed an idea to the world's governments. Not within the world's governments. This is it. I proposed an idea to the world's governments. This is it. All good. I can't believe you're banned. I'm kidding. But yeah, no. The world's governments have not been successful in defeating these monsters. However, one man proposed an idea. I can get rid of the world governments twice now. See? However, one man proposed an idea, requesting all of them to unite their resources in creating a new weapon. A weapon of hope. The Power Rangers. There we go. We went there. The Kamen Riders. The Ultramen. I think it's always just Ultraman though, even though there's multiple. But yeah, okay. Okay, so we got that. So now we need to create the location. The Super Sentai, exactly. We can put slashers in there. We can put slashes. The Power Rangers, Kamen Riders, Super Sentai. There we go. Hey Inaki, welcome to the stream. We are just working on things slowly. To make sure this and okay. To make sure this endeavor will be successful and free from government interference. See, now we got to get to the next part. Because yeah, so we're doing some D&D talking. We're currently creating the world and setting. Again, this is super rough, but it works. We're cooking. So to make sure this endeavor will be successful and free of government interference. Free of government interference. An independent man-made island was created. We need to figure out a name for that man. I feel like just naming him that man would be fine. He is called that man. Although that would be a Guilty Gear reference. Which I'm fine with. Guilty Gear is fun. But yeah. To make sure this endeavor would be successful and free from government interference, an independent man-made island was created, with the sole goal of developing and advancing this technology, as well as training those. Yeah. Yeah, that man. I like Power Rangers SPD. Well, that's completely fair. I think we're about to hit the year which SPD is setting soon, so that's going to be funny. With the sole goal of creating that technology and creating that sole goal of developing that technology. Developing works. With the sole goal of developing that technology. What else? Okay. So, hear me out. Okay, I'm cooking. To make sure this endeavor will be successful and free of government interference, an independent man-made island was created, with the sole goal of developing that technology and finding those those capable of utilizing it as effectively. Okay, so I've kind of created the intro. The Rangers Initiative, just like the Avengers Initiative. Yeah. Yeah. Many individuals have been scouted and are making their way to the Islam. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, think about it like this. They may not be able to save the world, but they sure as hell will come and ride it. The Avengers line only works with the Avengers, like legit. And to be fair, they don't do as much avenging because they do. In the first film, they do a lot of avenging. In the second film, they do a lot of pre-venging. Actually, they do a lot of pre-venging. Yeah, they do a lot of pre-venging. But we'll sure as hell Super Sentai it. But no, many individuals have been scouted and are currently making their way to the island. Many individuals have been scouted and are currently making their way to the island. You are There we go. Okay, we got our intro. Let's try again. And then we can add the parts that we've missed. Okay, from the top, people, and let me know if I'm cooking. In history, there have been many unexplained events and phenomena which have occurred. These are often described as acts of gods or demons, simply believed to be myth. However, there's some truth to those myths. Centuries ago, monsters walked among the world, treating humans as their prey. However, humans were able to fight back, push those monsters into near extinction. Over time, those monsters were forgotten, only to be treated as myth. However, they have slowly begun to return in recent years, causing havoc and destruction to whatever place they appear in. The world's governments have not been successful in defeating those monsters. However, one man proposed an idea, requesting all of them to unite their resources in creating a new weapon, a weapon of hope. The Power Rangers. To make sure this endeavor would be successful and free of government interference, an independent man-made island was created, with the sole goal of developing that technology and finding those capable of utilizing it to its maximum potential. Many individuals have been scouted and are currently making their way to the island. You are one of those chosen. Will you be able to protect what's precious to you? Will you be able to save the world? And most importantly, will you be able to survive? There we go. See? Have I cooked? Cool. Yeah, so what are you thinking? That is the intro, the tagline. So we got that. I'm gonna take away this stuff. So we got the intro, we got the tagline. So we got some details in. Which is nice. Yep. So we created our saying, you know? We've created our saying. We've created a way for when someone who reads this to think, okay, this is the world that I'm in. So I know it's slightly modern day, you know? I know this is what's going on. These monsters aren't truly explained because you don't have to explain everything when you're writing a campaign, you know? You can leave that to be a secret shocking reveal. Like, you could reveal that these new monsters are completely man-made as well, created by that man. You could also make it a thing where like the villain is a monster that has complete sentience, or is a monster that is like the first human or something like that, you know? You gotta think on it. You gotta be like, okay, what can we do later? Because you don't need to, you know, I can stop. Don't make me ban you. I'm kidding. That man. Yeah, you could make the reveal be that man has been creating the Super Sentai / the Power Rangers, and also is responsible for, you know, you can also make him be responsible for the monsters. So he's responsible for both. So then, you know, with that information, you can be like, oh, okay, that's the twist. He's made them both, but why did he make them both, you know? And you can be like, he made them both simply due to the fact that he wanted the world to unite, you know? Pull an Attack on Titan, Shigeki no Kyojin, if you will. But yeah, like, we have those. We're not gonna have like 50-foot monsters. Oh wait, we are gonna have 50-foot monsters if, you know, we do the Super Sentai, like, you know, monsters become big. So there's stuff like that. There's stuff like that which we can do, which we can use. I'm going to quickly hydrate. Yeah, Helix, don't worry about it. Don't worry, my proper mods are getting selected soon, so don't even worry. For now, Aka just has the power of the wrench, the regular wrench, the blue wrench. Yeah. But yeah, so we've taken, you know. So we've taken some good ideas, yeah? We've taken some inspiration. We've basically created a setting. Now what we need to do is make the island feel more alive. So next we do locations. Yep. So locations are gonna be super simple stuff. So this is what the players have able to do in their free time. So it can be like housing this, and because it's a yeah, because it's a island, we can section off certain sections, you know. Yeah. So like housing districts, we can have that. Okay, then we have shopping district. Then research. Yeah, we got research districts, and then we have training districts. So we've already got 4 locations, you know? That's just like big 4 locations, and then we can go into the specifics of like the shopping districts. So, you know, in the shopping district, you can have recreational stuff, you know? Hospital would be a good place to have as well. So like you could put in the research district, or you can make the hospital like in a different location. Probably no underground bunker, because like you don't really need to hide anything. And plus, if it's that advanced, you can probably like have shutters appear that protect buildings. You know, give it the Evangelion treatment. But yeah, recreational areas are good. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. But yeah, we create the areas, you know. We call it the medical district. We'll call it that. So now I have these names. It makes it very easy for me to create a map, you know. So that way I can just section off different sections for like, okay, this is what X is, this is what Y is, this is what Z is, you know? So we have those places, and then let me think. I'll make an area called the transport district. There we go. Hey, a mall will be in shopping district, yeah. So usually just because we're using the man-made island setup. Because we're using the man-made island setup, we don't need to give these places full-on names. We don't need to be like, and this is Sentai City, you know? We don't need to do any of the extra heavy lifting stuff. We can just have the, you know, easier time. And then we don't even need to go too, we don't need too much detail with everything. You just gotta think, okay, what's the efficient way to do this? And again, this is to make sure that the person reading this understands it really easily. No red light district. There's no need. Okay, so there's stuff like that, yeah. And we can probably write an excuse of like why characters are certain ages and just be like, at a certain age there's better synchronization with the, you know, armor / weapons, stuff like that, you know? There's always ways to justify things and make things work very well. So you use that information and use it very, you know, effectively, and you get to see what happens with it, you know? So we've got that. So housing district. This is where the residents of the island resides. Cool. Pretty spells should I spell dormitories, right? But wrong. I mean wrong. Okay, so housing districts. This is where the residents of the islands resides. Those who are in training stay in the dormitories. The dormitories to help boost. To help. To help foster positive remake. Cool. So, housing district. This is where the residents of the island resides. Those who are in training stay in the dormitories to help foster a positive relationship with their potential teammates. So that's an easy way for me to be like, okay, this is how the players are at least going to see each other at least once a day, you know? That's the key thing, because if the players don't see each other, or if the players can easily avoid each other throughout the whole campaign, then it creates difficulty in building their relationship up together, you know? Whereas you put them in a dormitory, they'll have to like build relationship. You can have easier interaction access. It doesn't force them to stay together, and it allows natural interactions to be built, you know? So like, it's an easy way for characters to introduce each other to each other in the first session. So like, I have a choice if we do it in the housing district, or we can like, you know, have a session end there once they've defeated their first villain, and they can have like a downtime talk back with each other, you know? That's what I'm thinking. That's like my thoughts on it, which is why I encourage like, hey, in this situation is very much a team-based exercise, you know? Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, it's teams in most cases, you know? Ultraman, it's a team. Yeah. So, and again, D&D is basically a team-based game, you know? You don't try and solo things. You don't want to have main character syndrome, because main character syndrome can take away from a whole campaign, you know? Like, everyone's there to have fun. They're not there to watch you do something. That's the best way to describe it, you know? Like, you don't need to be there for every single scene. That's my take on it. So now we have the shopping district. So, you know, there we go. And there's no point in having a character build that tries to be the face, the muscle, the brains all at the same time. Exactly. Like, no one needs to be everything, you know? You don't need perfect characters because there's no such thing as perfect, you know? Like, even in anime when there's a team, like, you do have the main character. However, there are episodes where other characters take the role. You know? When it's like purely a team thing. Oh, I got something in my throat. Give me a second. I am like, I've been tickled in my throat. There we go. So, yeah, I'm good. Oh, that was. Okay, I'm good. So. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're good. Okay, so give me 1 second while I think on this. What I was going to say. Okay, so when you're building character stuff, so shopping district, this is where they'll go get some new clothes, accessories. This is just like free time for players to do stuff. Like, it doesn't need to be big events that they need to go on every single time. This is basically their leisure area. If they want to be like, oh, I decide to get some new clothes for my characters, allow them to get new clothes for their characters, you know? Like, allow them to get new accessories. Allow them to have basically something they can spend their money on. Because if it's just on weapons, people can get bored, you know? Sometimes you need games where, like, maybe there's a prom session, you know? Because in the end, you are allowing characters to be students. It is based in the modern day. You know, in a modern day setting, you do get free from work hours, you know? And yeah, you have to always keep in mind that no one is truly the main character, yeah? Like, avoid having favorites. Like, you can enjoy what someone does a lot, but avoid having favorites when you're, you know, DMing, because it can easily show. You need to make sure, like, you're not monopolizing a certain character's time and everyone is getting equal screen time, you know? That is my opinion on it. And like, it's fine for like some characters to have more screen time than others if it works naturally, you know? Yeah. Having a shop with slightly too expensive values, exactly. You gotta make sure, you know, you gotta make sure like these accessories can either do something for the players or it's something that they want, you know? Something that their character would like. You gotta think on things like that. Like, the shopping district could have stuff that can be used to create things, you know? Because players aren't always gonna have full access to the research district. So they gotta be able to purchase things, you know? There could be independent sellers, there could be black market dealers there that have stuff to make their armor work better. That have weapons that can do X, Y, and Z things, you know? Like, and of course they're gonna be black market prices, so they're gonna be expensive. So there is a lot you can do. Research district is this is where oh, give me a second. Here we go. There was an ice cream van playing his music too loud. I don't want to get DMCA'd for my ice cream van. But yeah, so research district, this is where researchers from across the world come together to study the monsters as well as develop new weapons. There we go. Yeah, it's a simple explanation. We can go into more detail when it happens. Medical district, and advanced medical. Cool. An advanced medical facility used in treating those injured by monsters, and by research. This is a. You have okay. Advanced medical facility aiding those who have suffered from monster attacks or being no red light district, none. I don't want to roleplay that. That's too much effort. Those would be dangerous. Oh, those would be injured from the read. Too much effort to roleplay it. Ara. Again, here's the thing: is D&D is roleplay. You know, I ain't gonna roleplay something that I can't be bothered to roleplay. Okay. Let me get some wine with that. Ara. DJ record stretch. You don't get any hours from me. No, you get the DJ remix. That's all. I could do them proper. I don't want to. All you get is the DJ edition. We're chilling. That's why. Big chilling. Okay, so training districts and. This is what. Cool. We have the training district is very simple. You know, training district. This is why individuals go to study and train. That's it. It's school. You know. We don't need extreme detail, you know. We got straight to the point. And transportation district. This is where individuals arrive and leave. There are additional high-speed jets, which what's it called? If we're going Super Sentai, we can also say this is where the Megazords are stored. There we go. There we go. Problem solved. You know? Following the transportation district. This is where the Megazords are stored. We chilling. So there's that. So we got that. There is no red light district. We chilling. Ignore all. There we go. I could alphabetize this, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, now we go to the character creation section finally. And this is again looking through the book a lot. So when it comes to character stuff, we just need them to like create something. We just need them to give basic information, like, you know, play your character's name. There we go. I'm not making this is for when the players are doing it. I'm not letting you make any characters. They're all going to be a surprise. Play character's name. Well, I'm not letting you guys make NPCs. Nope. That is all for me, and you'll enjoy them when they appear. Yeah. If this goes well, I think we can run this campaign in 2 weeks. You know. Yeah. You guys ain't touching NPCs. They're all me. They're mine. Yeah. Okay. And besides, you need to be surprised. You know, I can't just reveal everything to you. I do plan on like having this run as a campaign. I got some people in mind. Equinnox campaign maybe one day. I know they're busy. They my bros, but they busy. Yeah, don't worry. The plays are going to be a fun surprise. So don't you worry. But when is it? Again, we don't have a confirmed date because again, I'm working on stuff and everyone's busy. So I'm not gonna give a date only for it not to happen. That's the key thing. Because the biggest issue with D&D and anything, yeah, is scheduling. Again, it could be 2 weeks, but I can't give a concrete date, you know? Things always be changing. That's the sad thing, you know? Maybe this never gets used, and that'll be tragic, but that's fine, you know? Because at least I got this set up. That's the thing, you know? And that's just me being honest. It's tragic, but it can be true, you know? Stretch. Okay, age 18 plus that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It's basically self-explanatory gender. History. So what did just do. I mean, they just need to be above the age of 18 because, you know, it's difficult. Dude, probably below 30. I'll put below 35. 18 to 35. That seems like a good range. Don't care. Yeah. They ain't gonna be no 70-year-old fighting. It's, yeah. Again, Daniel is completely correct. Like, scheduling is always the difficult part. Like, you're lucky if you finish a D&D campaign. Like he's right. Like, you know, some campaigns take a long time, and you might not reach the end because everyone's busy. People go on hiatuses. People get married eventually. Like, campaigns can be a make or break, genuinely. So that is the, you know, struggle with it. Hey turkeys. Oh, Baked. How you doing? How you doing? We're just chatting, writing, working on campaign stuff. So very casual stream, you know. So like this game has this game has its own history table, and like you don't really need to use it. But let me double check. Let me double check what the history table is like. 145. I wonder. 145. Cool. Don't worry about my face. There we go. There we go. Don't worry about my face. Let's do. Let me see if I can find the history table. I got into Lancer thanks to this event. All good, all good. Heck yeah. I'm glad there's more people going to be running Lancers, I believe. I did see someone trying to do some character creation streams, which was nice. So, hey Osada, how you doing? Cool. There we go. So history, we can use a table for that, and usually you can do something like rolling odds or evens or whatever. So for example, one of the things people can roll is you know, rich family. Your family's quite well off. You wanted nothing. You wanted nothing for as a child. Artist. You are or were an artist, musician, creative soul, or someone in the family is. You know, the game allows you to have roles, but I prefer, you know, like creating something, creating a story, and letting the players have the complete freeform to do it, because I think that makes it more fun. You guys can disagree or agree. It just depends on the person, you know. And hope you feel better soon, Osada. Yeah. So loss is basically like what a character's loss, or why they, you know, take why they have X, Y, and Z. Cool. Let's just find something to write it. Let's just get to those pages again. Again, I prefer just letting the players write all of the stuff themselves, because I find it much more fun, you know? So, loss. So, what is the... Yeah. Losses, what's the trauma your character has, which motivates them? I know, not the greatest thing to write, but that's what the game wants. So this could be something as like, you know, oh, they lost someone really important to them, etc, etc, which is completely fair to do, because usually for example in D&D you always have that one character or one player who's like, and my whole family was killed, so I'm looking for revenge, you know. Whereas in this situation, loss is something to use to motivate them. Why they got scouted out. Was it surviving a situation where a monster appeared? Also, we need to create names for these monsters, but I'll figure something out. There's nothing really like... Naming things is gonna be my thing, you know? Then flash forward is just, you know, the command to trigger a transformation. So in Kamen Rider, that's Henshin. In Super Sentai, I believe it's also Henshin, or something like that. Yeah, don't worry about naming. That's my job. That's my job. It makes it more fun. In Super Power Rangers, it's morphing time. That's the change catchphrase. Stuff like that. Character details. My DM did that to my character, made a whole family tree, then killed them all. You know, fair. As long as they did it well. Yeah, we don't need to go into too much with that. So we got that stuff done. Yeah, so like, for example, I would draw the characters which the players would provide me, you know? I found out I don't like making characters with revenge backstories. That's completely fair. Like, again, like, it's always complicated. Sometimes you can have fun with a revenge story. Sometimes, like, a revenge story can make it difficult for your character to have more fun stuff to do. Yeah, because like playing an evil character is fine, but like if you're surrounded with people who aren't evil or who aren't in a similar mindset to you, playing a revenge character can be difficult, especially if you play them as just like, man, I just want revenge. Sometimes you gotta like slowly play it. Like best example is Iron Man in Captain America Civil War. Yeah, like when he's face to face with the killer of his, you know, mother slash his parents slash family, Bucky, and Bucky is like and Captain America is like, he was being brainwashed, and his response is, I don't care, he killed my mom. Like, you can make a character who's good throughout, who has some problems, and then when he's face to face with the person who he wants revenge of, you can make him go off the, you know, boat slash rail. Like, you have the power to do that. And that's the fun thing, you know? Whereas if you're just like, man, I just want revenge, then you go into the I'm 14 and this is deep kind of category, which is fine, but you can do so much more. You can do complicated things like, you know, and again, once you've done something for the first time, you might not even enjoy it because you'll have too many high expectations. Like, you know, you'll have too many high expectations for like your revenge story, and a DM can't cater to all of that, you know? And you also have to keep in mind, if you focus on your character's revenge story too much or too long, you may not have anything for your character at the end, you know? So let's say your revenge is gone through, then it becomes a, okay, so what now kind of situation. And that's what you want to avoid. You want to make sure your character either finishes his arc and is able to help other people's arcs, and is still integral to the party, rather than they only change revenge, never gained any bonds with the party, etc, etc. Like, you gotta build on that very well. That's my opinion, at least, you know? But yeah, that is my opinion on stuff. Okay, so with the game, skills is self-explanatory. I just need to add stuff. So we gotta just write it down. Give me a second. Skills. These represent your abilities. Let's just get that written down. I just need to find a way to word this properly, but it's fine. We can just take it from the book and then reword it. I hate. Why can't I just right-click, copy, paste? Google, why? Google, why? Google, why do you do this to me? But yeah, there are 6 job skills. Then we have them written down. Let's just get rid of that. And then let's just get stuff like that. All skills start at LV1. And all skills starts at level 1. Yeah, well, I got to like figure out how to word this. It's very chill, it's very chill. We've basically got the main things I wanted to get done, which is like arranging the story, honestly. All skills start at level 1, and with the let me just think this through. During again, this is like the not interesting parts, unfortunately, which is the this is the DM side, like stuff you wouldn't see the DM doing, like because the players just get to see the end result, which is fine because the end result is also beneficial for the DM because that means the game is being run, all skills start at level 1 with the max being level 5 during my plans at 6. Give me a second. I think the issue I have with Fate Core is like you have to like for those of you who don't know what Fate is, it's another system and it relies on people creating the abilities a lot. So for example, your special skill could be running, and then you have to just skill that out, kind of. But other people could make abilities that may never be used. It can get quite complicated, in my opinion. Right, LV5. Yeah. Exactly. Like, again, like it can. I tried to use Fate before, and like it was a pain to use. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. Fate Core can be difficult, and again, it's because it's so flexible. It makes it like so difficult to use properly. You can use it for like hero-based campaigns, but you can also use mutants and masterminds, which is another hero-based campaign system. A lot of people use it for, I believe, X-Men and for My Hero games these days. Reaching level 5 means you reach beast up here. Can be. And this can be true through this can be true through oh, don't talk to me about Bakugo. I hate that guy. Like, man, I know people say he gets better. I know this. Let me go on my side Bakugo rant. I know people say he gets better, but like, he lost me at the start, so I don't give a fuck. Like, the thing with like Vegeta or Sasuke, he has an excuse. He was tortured throughout his whole life. He watched his brother kill his clan. He had his whole curse mark thing, all that stuff. Vegeta was just a dick, and then he got better. Bakugo, he's meant to be a good guy, and the first thing he does is tell a dude to jump off a roof. It makes it difficult to redeem him afterwards. And I know people have said, oh, but he gets better. Yeah, but like, he's so unlikable at the start. Like, yeah. And like, if you like Bakugo, you can like him in the same way I can dislike him. But yeah, let me explain these skills. So brawling just means hand-to-hand combat. Agility means how fast. Let me put fast. How fast and Yeah, I'll just put how fast you can move. I don't even know what the word aerodactyly. What's the word aerodactyly? Let me just look it up, I guess. Oh, adroitly. I've never heard that word before. Adroitly. Huh. The more you know. I guess that works. Adroitly means what does it mean again? Adroitly. Adroitly means in a clever or skillful way. I'm gonna put that in brackets. Because I know my players aren't gonna know that. You know, it's always great when you have to look up a definition. In a clever or skillful way. But yeah. You can like him as a small dog who's always angry. That's completely fine. The point of insufferable is that you have a choice. Would you rather avoid him? What's the point if he gets better if everyone already left? See? Again, here's the thing. Just because you know, the boy forgives him doesn't mean I need to. Welcome back. But yeah. So we've got, okay, brawling hand-to-hand combat. So for example, you could put all your points in hand-to-hand combat and it just means, okay, you're really, really good, you know? Level 1 means you understand the basics. 2 means you've taken a class or 2. Oh, I need to add this on the table actually. It's always good to have a table for people to, you know, use. Let's add a table. If I remember how to add a table. It's a table. There we go. Insert row below 2, 3, 4. All good, all good. Don't you worry. Umi, hey, thank you for the raid. Thank you. How are you doing? This is super chill D&D stuff, so I can explain some stuff. But yeah. Hi, I'm Vance. You guys know me as the guy who talked about Pretty Little Liars while he was being chased by an alien. But yeah, thank you for the raid. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, I'm just going through D&D stuff. If you guys like D&D, feel free to stay in. If you don't, feel free to also stay in. And if you're just super busy right now, feel free to head off, and I hope you have a wonderful day, you know? Oh, for real, best shock. Again, best shock, great cover, you know? Yes, I listened to the cover, great job. But yeah, yeah, I was meaning to message you about that. Cover, you did a great job on the cover. But yeah. No, if you gotta leave, you gotta leave. Like, I ain't here to keep you, you know? But if you want to listen to some guy talk about D&D, and maybe go tangents on Teen Wolf and Pretty Little Liars, then I'm your guy. But yeah, currently we're working on a document for D&D tabletop RPGs. For those of you who don't know what tabletop RPG means, it means tabletop role-playing game. So currently I'm working on one which is based on Tokusatsu. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's usually like Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman. So, you know? And I'm currently writing a document for any future players. So, stuff like that, you know? And thank you. Best shock to best croc. Hey, I'll take the compliments. But yeah, currently I've been writing how the setting would work. So, let me read the intro for you guys, and then feel free to have a giggle when you get to a certain part. In history, there have been unexplained events and phenomena which have occurred. These are often described as acts of gods or demons, simply believed to be myths. However, there is some truth to those myths. Centuries ago, monsters walked the world, treating humans as prey. However, humans were able to fight back and push those monsters into near extinction. Over time, these monsters were forgotten, only to be treated as myth. However, they have slowly begun to return in recent years, causing havoc and destruction in whatever place they appear. The world's governments have not been successful in defeating these monsters. However, one man proposed an idea. Then we got the trailer line. One man proposed an idea, requesting all of them to unite their resources. I know it's not gonna backfire in any way. For him to create a new weapon, a weapon of hope, the Power Rangers. To make sure this endeavor would be successful and free from the government interference, an independent man-made island was created, with the sole goal of developing technology and finding those capable of utilizing it to the maximum potential. Many individuals have been scouted and are currently making their way to the island. You are one of those chosen. Will you be able to protect what's precious to you? Will you be able to save the world? And most importantly, will you be able to survive? There we go. See? I grabbed some people with the Rangers name drop. But yeah, it's basically a Power Rangers campaign I'm setting up. So we've got the history, which is, you know, my method of writing a history is working backwards from stuff. So monsters, why do we have monsters? One of the things was, do people want to have monsters be the problem or AI, you know, / machines? Currently monsters won, so we're going with the monster route. So that's pretty chill. We've worked out locations to like housing district, shopping district. Just because we're on a man-made island, we can section off things really easily. You can beat up giant mechs in, you know, in a different way. Yeah, so that's the goal, that's the storyline we're going for. So that's the chill idea, you know? So there's that. So that's that. So there's advanced medical facility as well. So like, you know, if any of the players get really injured, which you can do in this game, like we can give them prosthetic robot limbs, stuff like that. Shopping districts for people to just have fun with it. And currently I'm just working on the skill system and stuff, which is again me looking through a book and basically finding a way to simplify it as much as possible, because let's be honest, this is a DM's job. Players don't need to look through the big DM's guide. They just need a small Google Doc / brochure, which just guides them, you know? Dude. See, now I'm tempted to name the villain A. But no, it's all good. It's all good. So, level 1, currently we're doing skills, and with skills, it's from level 1 to level 5. Fax maximum 1 lowest. So 1 just means, you are qualified. You know the basics. Yeah, you know the basics. That's the key thing. Yeah, exactly. If we want edginess, we can do that, you know? Heck yeah. I'm glad to hear that, Lois. You just have a great time. Okay, so level 2 would be, well, we'll go to maximum. You cool. So level 5 would be you are a master at your craft. You know, you have experience which others are jealous of, or you have experience which makes you a veteran in this field. It's all good. You take care. There's no luck command, don't worry. You have experience with. But yeah, so currently I'm using the Convictor Driver book, which for those of you who don't know is basically the book that came out I think last year, which is just focused on Super Sentai stuff and armor and cool stuff like that. I do have the Konosuba book, which I do want to run a Konosuba campaign one day, because I think that'll be a fun isekai joke campaign that you can run. Even the book has like jokes about like getting eaten by a frog and stuff, which you do take damage if you get eaten by a frog, you know? You are the best. You're the best among your peers. Level 3 is wait, you are above a professional. Yeah, there we go. So level 4 would be you're above a professional. Level 3 would be you are a professional. Level 2 would be yeah, there we go. So for example, when we're using this scale compared to like the skill, for example, brawling, if you're level 1 at brawling, a delta, yes, typing ASMR. I guess that's what we're getting. Fine, I'll hydrate. There we go. So for example, with brawling, if you were level 1 with brawling, you'll know the basics. However, if someone was level 2 at brawling, they could basically take you out. So like, whereas if you're level 5 at brawling, you're basically like someone who's got nothing but raw strength that can take people down easily, you know? You can chuck them, you can throw them, you can just like easily fight them, you know? You're basically an expert of expert in hand-to-hand in that sense. Level, yeah. Then if you're level 3, you're above average. You're just a pro at it, you know? Which is really good. Like, that's usually how most situations are gonna be in. So like, for example, you have professional knowledge in something, you know, maths, science, you have like really good knowledge in negotiation, stuff like that, which is really a good trait. So like, you probably want most of your skills to be like level 3, level 4, but it's okay to have a low stat because you only have 6 free points to use and everything is on level 1 to begin with, yeah? So you just gotta figure out what you want to use it in, and you have 6 different skills. So like, you know, you could make everything just level 2 and just go for a flat level 2 build, or you can find something that you're an expert in, you know? Cool, and then we got the stats, yep. So HP is 7 for all the players. HP can go into negative, so this is where the fun stuff of injuries come in, you know? So you don't knock yourself out, you get super injured. You just keep on going. It's like, you know, Kingdom Hearts, okay, this is gonna be a deep meme, but makes sense. You know Kingdom Hearts where Terranot is fighting Terra, the armored version of Terra, and the meme is local man too angry to die. That's basically you in this campaign. You can take as much damage and then you'll be hospitalized. You probably do have a limit, which means you can get knocked out. However, if you want to just keep going, you can keep going. So you got your HP, can go into negatives, means injuries. Let me give examples of injuries if I can find them. Let's find an injury. I'm sure there's an injury table. Let me find it. There was something about injuries, I believe. I might be completely wrong. I might just be tweaking. Let's find it. Oh, it's on page 62. Okay. So I'll give you some examples of like injuries. 62, if the pages are correct. I need my shirt back on. This is what happens when you put numbers in the wrong place. There we go. So let me find injuries. Okay, so if you take -1 damage, it just means they're mildly injured for the rest of the day. -2 to -3, you may have broken a few bones. -4 to -5, severely injured, hospitalized for a month. 6 to 7 minus, grave injury requires physical therapy. This is probably the point where you need to, like, you know, get the arm fixed, you know, get your robotic arm going. -8 to -9, you're going to the ICU. You know, listen. It was accidental, and you didn't see too much anyway. -8 to -9, you're getting you know, ICU, and -10 means injuries fatal, you know, which means there's gonna be a bunch of rolls, you know. But that's fine, that's fine. -10, you're healthy in the afterlife, basically. I think you can still survive -10, that's the thing. Because I believe there's still some death saves, you know. Yeah, dude, so that's the interesting stuff. It's fine, it's fine. But yeah, that's the interesting stuff. Let's go into so we can break some stuff down. So mat means material which represent physical force. So anything that like is like sharp weapons, like for example if you're using a katana, and mat for armor just means ability to resist. Energy is for energy weapons like beams, pulsar rifles, cool stuff like that. You know, reserve just means movement. So you know, higher movement, the more movement you can do, stuff like that. Actions like attacks, stuff like that, and cost just reserved for like bonus actions, I believe. So that's the cool stuff. That's the good stuff. So we are going to originally I had races planned, but I think you know, just human should be fine. So I can just like remove that. Originally I was going to put like animal people, like cat girls, but like I mean we could still do that technically because we do have monsters, but like I don't think we need to. So, with energy charge over time like batteries, yeah, energy recharges pretty quickly. I believe it charges per turn. So because it charges per turn, it just means like once you've reached the end of your turn, then you just need to wait again, then you start off with the same amount of energy. So that's all good. And then character advancements and stuff, that is like that is done very naturally. Why no cat girls? I'll talk with the players if they want to add cat girls. Currently we're not having cat girls. Just like Elon taking away likes, I'm taking away cat girls. I know. I know, shocking, right? Let's find the classes. The classes are interesting. So we're gonna break them down. Usually this just means it's a 4-player game, but like it's fine. So adept is like people who are like purely balanced, you know? They have enough balance. But medium-sized armor. Yeah. Sorry, some kid is like wailing outside. Give me a second. There we go. What about cat boys? Just like Elon Musk taking away likes on Twitter, I'm taking away your cat boys. Okay. So let's figure things out. So adept are the versatile ones. They are style. They have there. There we go. So we don't need to like, you know, put too much detail in this. Again, when I'm doing it with the players directly, that'll be when I can go over things in super detail. But yeah, there are no exact classes in this campaign, but there's armor types, you know? Nope, just you guys get nothing. you guys get nothing. Again, if the players want to be a cat girl, then I'll talk to the players and be like, okay, I can justify it. There are no class armor types, but the armor types. Yeah, I'll just put it like this. There are no classes but armor types. There we go. And again, armor types are very customizable, luckily. So because they're customizable, we can give them different helmets and stuff. So for example, enhanced computer means they can add +4 to any die of their choice. So that's just +4 on anything. But it costs like 1 for activation, you know? And it's usually after an attack roll. So like they have some stuff they can use that costs 1 energy. So stuff like that. Support schedule, and they may reroll 1 die of their choice, means target an ally. That'll be stuff that I go over with DMs, just you know, that stuff I go over with players in separate situations, you know, and then I'll explain how combat works as well later on, which is all good. So adept, they're the versatile, flexible ones, and they have, again, medium armor, so it's all good. Basically, players will need to pick parts like head part, body part, arm, and legs, and they'll just need to figure out how many reserves, energy, and armor they have altogether, which again can be really nice. And then they'll have 2 basic weapons, or 1 really cool weapon and 1 basic weapon, you know, which is all good. Next would be strength. Strength are the more defensive ones, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, they're focused on strength. Cool. So the strength model / strength based armors, they have to sacrifice their speed and power. Well, speed, but they get power out of it, you know. So there's stuff like that they need to do. So they have, again, because of this, I believe they also have yeah, they're less efficient in using their reserves, and they have pretty good shielding / defense. Nice. Done with the gym. That's good to hear. Okay, shooter, they're the range ones. Again, we got different parts for the strength. Shooter are focused on range, and they're more lightweight. Cool. Yeah, there we go. All good. You rest up. So they are lightweight and lacking in raw power. So shooter, they are lightweight and lack raw power, however they use their dexterity and range to deal damage. They're basically the sniper class, you know? So this is basically for anyone who doesn't want to deal with too much, you know, stuff directly. So you have to keep that in mind. So this will be comparable to the rogue in D&D. You know, they're kind of super squishy, but once they have their footing in, once they have their, you know, ability to do stuff, then they're popping off. And then I believe runner is just like pure speed. So runner, Cool. So yeah, runner focus on mobility and use momentum-based attacks. So basically, Dead the Flash. I know, crazy, right? So they're focused on like speed, running away, hitting things, stuff like that. And then we got a breakdown combat, which is gonna be the interesting part. We've gone pretty far, honestly, which is nice. But yeah, again, with every one of these, it's something I'm gonna add in, but like we build the armor together and like, you know, figure out how much damage they're gonna be doing per XYZ thing, you know? So that's the nice thing. That's the nice thing. So in normal situations, cool. Have a good time. So in normal situations, it'll be okay. Still, let's double check. Huh, that's interesting. So I'm just double checking. Just double checking some things, which is fine. Yeah, it'll be things like apprehending criminals, stuff like that, which is fine. Complicated, but it's... Okay, I'm back. I exploded, but I'm back. Okay, so I found the issue with the combat. It takes me a whole minute to figure out what it's trying to say. So I'm gonna have to read that in my own time and figure it all out again, which is fun. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I know. Welcome me back. Welcome me back. I appreciate it. Huh. Give me a second. There we go. I'm back. But yeah, so that is my method of making campaigns. Let me know what you guys have thought about it, and if you have any questions, let's go through them now. Actually, yeah. If you got questions, let's go through them now together. So, yeah. Welcome back, Baked. Yeah, let's go through some questions together. So, let me know if you got any, but basically this is what I do every single time when I'm making a campaign. Do I have other examples to show? I don't believe I do. In terms of campaigns I've ran one inspired by Nier Automata before, which was a fun, interesting one, which ended with one of the joke endings, because with Nier Automata you have 25 different endings, so I included 25 different endings for my campaign. The ending they triggered was the nuke ending. It's hard to explain what that means, but it was a fun time. Other campaigns I've ran a Digimon campaign, which Digimon campaigns are fun to run until you realize you have to voice every single Digimon. Every single Digimon. Like, that is like, imagine you have a party of 6, you're voicing 6 Digimon. You're voicing 6 Digimon already, you know? So you have to be prepared for that. And for me, never again. I'm never again doing that. Genuinely, it was so much work. Like, it was an unbelievable amount of work. It was fun though. It was fun, but I wouldn't recommend it for anyone, you know, especially if it's your first time DMing. So you have to keep that in mind. So that's my advice on that end. Yeah, like, again, like, okay, imagine the amount of conversations I've had to have with myself as a DM. So, for example, I would have to talk like this for one of the Digimon because I'm Gabumon, kind of thing, you know? And then I have to be like, he is talking to, again, I don't do voices really well, but you know, my players found it funny. I'm Gabumon. Yeah, so like, you will basically have to be talking to yourself for some scenes, and you have to be prepared for that if you're a DM. There are so many times you're gonna be talking to just yourself because the other players are like, let's make these two NPCs interact with each other. Especially if you have a DMPC, which refers to DM player character. stuff like that. Do you like to run different systems like you're doing now, or is there one go-to? There is one go-to which is like crafted, which I kind of took from a friend, which did a really fun job. But I do want to reach out and go to different systems. I've used a lot of the 2d6 systems, which are used by a lot of Japanese tabletop RPGs. So there's a lot of those I've used, which have been fun. Don't get me wrong, they've been a fun time. So that is one of those which I am like, I had a good time. Give me a second. There we go. Let me just do that. Yeah. So when it comes to like just any campaign, stuff like that, my key goal for any campaign is learn the system just for a quick second and try and explain it as easily as possible for my other players. Like in all honesty, I have used 5th edition the least out of everything, which is just because like how's the best way to describe it? 5th edition has its strengths, it has its weaknesses, it has its fun, you know what I mean? And if you're not too well versed in it, slash if you don't really, Pathfinder is so much customizable. And the key thing about using other systems is you don't get rule lawyers as frequently. Oh, my internet's like dying fully. Yeah, sorry, my internet is like slowly dying. Have you tried a more open world format? Players can kind of do whatever they want, kind of open world format. If that's the case, I've done that before and it has been fun. I can say that it has been fun. It was a complicated but fun time. Yeah. Oh yeah, YouTube is doing its thing. But it's fine. But yeah, I've used 5th edition before. Again, it's flexible-ish. The problem I have always with 5th edition is because everyone plays 5th edition, there's gonna be people who tell you you're playing 5th edition wrong, you know? And especially as a DM, you don't want to hear that at all. You know, you don't want to hear people be like, I don't like how you did that thing, or you would do it. If I was doing it, I'll do it like this, this, and this. Like, a lot of the times you don't get that. However, rule lawyering can be painful. Like, rule lawyering can be so much of a pain, you know? And it can take a lot of energy away from you, which is the sad but true part. And when that happens, it can either be like, depending on how your player approached it. If your player approached it very, you know, very calm and collectedly, then it's great. Yeah, exactly. House rules exist for a reason. Like, some people like allow some people allow short rest to kind of work like full rest, you know, stuff like that. Some people allow short rests to be like 15 minutes. Thank you for joining this D&D planning stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, it was a lot of give it a second. Let me reconnect. It was a lot of words, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, YouTube is not letting me continue the stream, so I think we're just gonna have to find someone to raid. Let's find someone to raid, and then I'll send you guys off. Thank you again for watching, joining, and just taking your time. I think that's like a live. 1 second. Who's available? I want to go raid someone. Actually, Vill's doing his thing. He's playing Tetris. So yeah, we're going to raid Vill. He's playing Tetris. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you all for coming along. I really do appreciate every single one of you. And thank you again, Umi, for the raid.
Bye.